campers. Hi!
Greetings and salutations, folks, and welcome once again, as always, to another helping of Mr. H's Hot Pot. You join me today from Butlin's in Skegness, Britain's first holiday camp. And I'm here today on a little bit of a long weekend break with Mrs. H and little Toby James. Toby James is off doing some soccer skills activities, leaving me free for an hour or so. And I'm currently making my way through the chalet area where all the accommodation and where we're currently staying. We're staying number 13, unlucky for some here. But I have noticed on my travels one of the original chalets from 1936 when this camp was built, and it's been preserved, and it's now a grade 2 listed building, and it's not too far away from the chalet that we're staying at. So I'm going to make my way over there now and take a little look at it. And it's not too bad weather-wise today, Hot Potters. There's not much wind, so we might get a good film out of this one. But yeah, we've just come here and decided to have a little bit of a break. Reasonably priced. And I've been to Butlin's a number of times. I've been to this one and I've been to the one in Marnhead. I think at its height, in its heyday, there was 9 camps in all, but I think that's been reduced to 3. All that's left now is Skegness, Marnhead and Bognor, I believe. And it's the forerunner, really, Butlin's, isn't it? All the other camps that came after it, Pontins, Warners, and many more, they've all fallen by the wayside. But Butlin's keeps on going. Anyway, I'm now making my way to where this original chalet is. And it holds a little bit of a dark secret, really. There's something that they never told you in the brochures. And I'll explain why they never told you, really. But it's just here near the car park area. So I'm going to whip the camera around now and we'll take a look at an original Butlin chalet from 1936. And here it is, Hot Potters. That little hut in the middle of your screen is an original chalet from when Butlin's Skegness opened in the 1930s. After this camp opened, World War II broke out, so the old site was requisitioned by the Ministry of War, as it used to be known as. Today it's the Ministry of Defence, and it was turned into a military site. And it was turned over to the Navy, I believe, and it became HMS Arthur. There is an obelisk near the camp entrance that commemorates the men and women that trained here during the Second World War, which I'll put a shot in for you now. And that was unveiled in 2003, I believe. But this original chalet remains, probably not in its original position. I should imagine it used to be over there where the modern day chalets are, and it's been moved here. But they've tried to recreate what it would have looked like back in 1936 when the camp was built. And this information board shows you a nice photograph of a family posing outside of the chalet. And just skim reading here, it's now a grade 2 listed building. It's one of Sir Billy Butlin's original chalets. And the chalet was first introduced in 1936 when Sir Billy opened his first resort here in Skegness. And that's what they would have looked like, all in a row. Amazing that this is still here. If ever you watch IDI from the 1980s, you're a fan of that show. This is the style of chalets that they had in that series. That was filmed, I believe, at a Warner's camp at Dovercourt in Essex. There's an housing estate now on that particular holiday campsite. Well, that's the original front door. I don't think it's open. I don't think you can go in. Just try. No, it's locked. But we'll look through the windows and see what it would have looked like. This is what would have greeted you back in the 1930s. Just a bare bed, a set of drawers, and I think there's a bunk bed. We'll take a look at the other window and we'll be able to see the bunk beds. No running water, of course. You would have had to go to a central toilet block, an ablution block. That's the bunk bed. And there's a wardrobe in there. And just a single light bulb. Basic, but for 1930s standards, I suppose this was luxury back in the day. Now, it does hold a bit of a dark secret, Hot Potters. And it's from the materials that it's built out of. Obviously, the timber framed. But the panels are actually asbestos. Yeah, they was all built from asbestos, and it would have cost you £2, 10 shillings to stay in one of these. So you were paying to stay in an asbestos box, basically. Now, in fairness to Sir Billy, as he later became, asbestos was being used in all manners of construction. It was being used as a fireproof material. It was being used as roofing in sheets. Garages was being built out of it. In fact, if you can find an old 1930s garage, it will have been built to this sort of style, timber framed and asbestos panelling. And it was seen as the wonder material for construction. And if you want to put up a bit of a case in asbestos' defence, apparently, unless you drill into it or you actually break it, so you create dust, it's quite safe. But that said, I wouldn't want to stay in this. The lack of amenities and the fact that it's been built out of asbestos isn't for me. But who knows, maybe you stayed in one of these back in the day. But it's good to see that it's been preserved for future generations to take a look at how these chalets used to be back in the day. Makes you appreciative of what we have today. It really does. But yeah, an original Billy Butlin chalet from 1936. Right, Hot Potters, I'm going to whip the camera around now and wrap this one up, I think. Right, Hot Potters, well, that'll just about do it for me today. I'm now going to head off back and try and find Mrs H and little Toby James and continue our little long weekend break. I hope you've enjoyed today's video, taking a look at an original chalet from the 1930s that's still here at Butlin's holiday camp in Skegness. But until I return home and edit up all this footage ready for your edification, that's it from me. So until the next time, bye bye for now.